My name's Julian Bucknall, and I'm really pleased that you're joining us via a live broadcast, something that we've not done before, from our technology centre here in Knutsford in Cheshire, in England. For the next 6 weeks, you're going to be introduced and working on something called Tech Innovation, and the purpose of the broadcast today is to give you an overview of what it's about and what you're going to be doing during the next 6 weeks. What I thought I'd do first is give you a bit of context about Barclays. So just in case you don't know what Barclays do, and more importantly, how we use technology, I'm going to go through a bit of information just to give you a bit more understanding. Before then, I'll give you a briefing on tech innovation. First off, what I wanted to do is just welcome you from wherever you are joining us today for the broadcast. So not only do we have schools taking part within the UK, around Cheshire and Manchester, which is where we're based at our technology centre here, but also I'd like to say good afternoon to students joining us at our technology centre in Lithuania, in Vilnius. So this is the first time we've also run an initiative like this against the same timetable between two of our large technology centres. So whether it's 1 o'clock for you in the UK or 3 p.m. for you in Lithuania, it's really great that you're joining us today. So, as mentioned, I just want to give you a bit of context about Barclays, and I think most of you might know what Barclays do, but just in case, we're a bank, and we do banking on a global scale. We operate in about 50 countries around the world, and there's 140,000 people work for Barclays. Most of you might think of a bank in terms of ATMs where you take out money. You may also think about us providing mortgages or loans. But Barclays is more than that. We actually provide financing for big corporate organisations, big organisations globally, and also we do investment banking and wealth management, which provides facilities, banking facilities for people that basically have a lot of money. The way that Barclays is organised into two distinct businesses, so our retail and business banking division, which includes Barclaycard, so the credit card that we provide to our customers, and also then the investment bank and wealth management, so the more, I guess, risky elements of the business contained into a distinct part of the business. And then supporting all of that, because it's such a big organisation, we have something called Group Centre, which includes colleagues like myself who work in technology and operations. And it also includes things like marketing, HR and finance. What I thought I'd do now is show you a short video which has been seen by all the colleagues here in Barclays, but is a really nice way for you to see a bit of the history of Barclays. We've been around for about 320 years as a brand, and there's been a lot of things that have been achieved in that time. So this video hopefully will give you a bit more insight into the history of Barclays. What I thought I'd do now is just give you a bit more context in terms of the importance of technology for an organisation like Barclays. Everything that we do here in some way is supported by technology. So again, thinking of the most basic types of things we do as a bank, providing the ATMs for our customers to take out the money if they're going out for a meal, or customers coming into our branch to pay for some foreign currency, or even more modern technology like smartphones and being able to send payments using Pingit, the product that we launched last year to allow our customers to send money just using a mobile phone. Everything that we do as a bank relies on technology. So it's really, really important that we get it right. What we do as an organisation here in the technology part of Barclays is make sure everything runs as it should do. So once it's been implemented, we have a lot of people whose jobs it is to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And that happens around the clock and around the globe. So as one part of the globe is coming to the end of their working day, technology colleagues there, they hand over to some other colleagues who make sure those systems continue to run. And at the same time, we have lots of people delivering projects all of the time across all parts of our business to provide new and innovative products for our customers to use. So although people think of a bank as being maybe open from 9 to 5, actually everything that happens in Barclays within technology is absolutely a 24/7 operation every day of the year. So I've already welcomed those of you that are joining us in the UK, where we have this large technology centre that I'm based at in Knutsford. We have about 3,500 colleagues here. And also to those of you that are joining us in Lithuania today, We have probably about 1,000, 1,500 colleagues working there too. But that's only part of the story. We also have a number of technology centres and colleagues working around the globe, from as far east as Hong Kong and Japan to as far west as the east coast of America. And so all through the day, 24/7, those colleagues are providing the technology, the systems, the services that help our customers to meet their banking needs. And of the 140,000 colleagues that I mentioned to you actually work for Barclays, a good chunk of those work in ops and technology, about 50,000 of us. So it's a really big cost for Barclays, but that's because technology is so important to us as a business. I just wanted to show you this slide. Now, there's a lot of information on here, and I don't expect you to absorb all of it. But this just gives you a scale of how much technology exists within Barclays. So, just for example, if you think about some of our data centres, this is where all of the IT systems sit. And some of them are as big as a football pitch. So imagine the size of a football pitch and that just being full of technology and wires. It's a really, really big operation. And because we use so much technology, everybody in Barclays also uses that technology. So everybody has some sort of access to technology. And sometimes it doesn't work for them, so they need to be able to phone somebody up and help and make a request for help. So we have hundreds of colleagues whose job it is not to solve the problems for our customers, but to work on service desks to solve problems for people like me. The key thing to take away from this is that technology is really, really important. And so as organisations like Barclays, we're really always in need of people that can support these systems and build these systems. And so people like you are going to get a great experience from tech innovation in terms of the importance that we place on it, but also the experience and the skills that we need as an employer. Now, regardless of whether we're implementing a new release for our ATMs or ping it, or putting in a new system to allow our investment bankers on the trading floor to work, the principles by which we introduce new technology follow this life cycle. It's called the IT development life cycle. Now, just in case, again, you don't get time to make a note of this today, if you Google on it, you'll see lots of information about the IT life cycle. But I wanted to remind you that actually this is really important for when you start your experience with tech innovation, because this is very much how we deliver technology into our business. Then there's some key stages of which you're going to start today, which is about analysing the requirements. And once you understand what those requirements are, you then go through various stages about designing programs, coding it, testing it, and then implementing it. And then ultimately it goes into operational support. And as I mentioned before, sometimes it doesn't work as it's meant to. And so therefore you have people whose job it is to support and bring that technology back into action. Now ultimately, over a period of time, that technology meets the end of its life cycle and new products and services are then introduced to replace it. But that could be over many years. So I'd really encourage you, as you're going through tech innovation and starting to form your project teams, that you keep this life cycle in mind. So at this point, I just wanted to take an opportunity to remind you that as well as you being able to see me on the live broadcast, because you can't talk directly to me, we've introduced the chat forum. So if you scroll down the page, of which you're looking at me just now, you can actually see the chat forum underway. And I know some people have been posting some comments already, but I would encourage you, as I go through the briefing now for tech innovation, if you have any questions, use the chat forum and I'll try and answer them during the broadcast. But don't worry, if there's a question you forget just as we finish the broadcast, that's okay, because I'm hoping today, wherever you are, we have some Barclays mentors that have joined you to help you understand a little bit more about what you need to do and to get you organised over the next few weeks. So, what is tech innovation? Effectively, I've said to you already that technology is so important to Barclays that we need to employ really good people, talented people that know how to make our systems work effectively. And so what we wanted to do through this next 6 weeks is give you an opportunity to experience what that might be like. So we want to give you some scenarios to work through. and we're going to give you the time during, alongside your schoolwork and with the support of your teachers to actually look at the problems and work them through as a project team. And you're going to form the project. It's going to be really important that you allocate roles and responsibilities, make a decision on what you're going to do, with the aim that in 6 weeks' time, you're going to get the opportunity to present your ideas to a panel of IT experts. The thing is, when you're building your solutions for tech innovation, I'd encourage you to think about when technology is done right. Have a think about some of those really cool organisations like Google and Apple that just seem to keep doing loads of great stuff with technology. And if they're doing great stuff with it, more and more people like you and I are going to be buying their products or logging onto their websites. At the same time, don't forget that sometimes if technology doesn't work, the customers can lose confidence in a business, and there's been some really good examples with banks in particular, but other businesses, that the technology fails them and customers lose trust, and you don't want to be in that position with your own solutions. So as I mentioned, I'm really keen that you take every opportunity over the next 6 weeks to work through the project and experience it as if you were working for Barclays. And the reason why we'd like you to do that is we think it's going to give you a great opportunity to develop your skills, skills that we as an employer look for when people come and work for us. So things like innovation, creativity, team working, and project management. So how's it going to work? Well, from today, we're going to ask you to form some project teams, and you may already be in your teams within your own school, which is great. And within your teams, we're going to give you the opportunity to choose one of 4 scenarios to work on. Now, hopefully your teachers or your mentors will have copies of a briefing sheet, which gives you the opportunity to see those scenarios, but I will put them up on the screen in just a second. But today, what I'd really encourage you to do is think about allocating roles and responsibilities with the aim that before you leave for today, you leave school for today, you really know how you're going to move your project forward over the next few weeks. It also gives you an opportunity to meet a Barclays mentor who will be there to support you during that period. Tech Innovation will finish on Friday the 13th of December for those of you that are shortlisted as finalists to come and present your ideas to a panel of experts here at Barclays, whether that be in the UK or in Lithuania. So these are the 4 challenges. Don't worry too much about noting these down, because as I say, your teachers should have a copy of the handout for you to refer to after the broadcast. But in summary, each of them is there to give you the opportunity to be as creative as you like with the ideas that you might have to solve one of these real issues. So let's just go through them very briefly. The first one is an opportunity for you to think about what would be really good to help an organisation like Barclays to improve technology for a local community or charity group. It could be a group that you know, or you may want to go and do a little bit of research on. Secondly, you might want to think about a solution that helps organisations like Barclays to be more considerate on its environmental impact and its reduction of carbon footprint. So again, maybe a little bit of research on that to see what has already been done out there and what might be a really new idea that you'd want to implement. Firstly, maybe a bit more closer to home is, as a bank, how could you help us understand and how educate very young children into the real basics about money using some sort of fun app that they could have on a tablet at home or on their laptop? And just be mindful of the age group there. It is the real basics of money in terms of what does a credit or a debit mean. And then finally, very specific to the site that I'm based at here in Knutsford, and also to my colleagues in Vilnius, we have a big problem with car parking. So many colleagues want to come to the site that there isn't enough space for everybody to park. And so you might want to think about how can technology help us solve that problem, whether it be about eliminating the need for so many cars to come to the site in the first place, or if people are driving here, how we can best allocate out the car parking space. So 4 very different scenarios. You get to choose one of them as a project team, and I'd really encourage you to think about doing that and making that decision today. Have a word with your mentor after the broadcast and to your teachers, and be very clear about what you're going to work on. So I mentioned the mentors. I just want to remind you of why we've allocated mentors. When you're working on a project, it's sometimes really helpful to get the opinion of somebody that's not directly connected with it, but can maybe give you a little bit of advice about how you want to progress things. And so the mentors are going to be there over the next few weeks to help guide you through that process and maybe give you a little bit of experience of projects that they've worked on here at Barclays. Now, the mentors are not going to do the project for you, so it's your responsibility to allocate project leaders and allocate people like finance, business plan owner, whatever it may be. But do use their mentors to help guide your thinking, and maybe if you've got particular questions or concerns that you need some help with. Okay? The aim of the mentors' support will be to ideally come and visit you on a weekly basis over the next 6 weeks to agree how they can support you. And that will be worked out at a convenient time between you, the other subjects you're doing at school, and of course the mentor getting away from their job here at Barclays. So a reminder of the timetable. So we've launched Tech Innovation through this broadcast today, and thank you all in advance for taking part. I really do think you're going to enjoy the next 6 weeks. During the next 6 weeks, you'll get the opportunity, as I mentioned, to meet your mentor. But today, I would encourage you to sit down with your mentor and just do a little bit of planning in terms of what you're going to work on and how you're going to allocate your roles and responsibilities within your team. Now, in some cases, some of the schools that are taking part have got a number of students involved in Tech Innovation. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to bring everybody back to Barclays for the finals on the 13th of December. So with those schools where there are a number of teams, through the mentors and your teachers, we'll be doing some sort of pre-selection by the end of week commencing the 6th of December, where finalists will be chosen from each school to then come back here to Barclays the following week to do your presentation of your ideas. Now on the 13th of December, for those of you in Lithuania, you haven't got to come all the way to England and vice versa. You'll be coming back to our office to present your ideas to a panel of experts. And likewise, for those students in Cheshire and Manchester, where you've been shortlisted, you too will come to this technology centre here in Knutsford to present your ideas to a panel of IT experts. And those experts will see all of the presentations and will then make a decision on the strongest ideas, best use of technology that's been presented on that day. The key thing is, even if you're not selected as one of the finalists, you'll need to be prepared, certainly by the 6th of December, to have delivered a presentation to your school and to your mentors that lasts no longer than 5 minutes. And it will be on that basis then that your teachers and your mentors will then nominate through the strongest teams to the finals on the 13th of December. And then on the 13th of December, you'll get the opportunity to repeat that presentation to the panel of IT experts. So you only have 5 minutes to deliver your presentation, and also then there will be some time for the experts to ask you some questions. So, preparing for the pitch day is the 13th of December. What I'd really encourage you to think about before you come back is, firstly, once you've got your idea, is what would it solve? What would be the benefits of what you're going to be implementing? What's the outcomes? Now, money's always a good thing to focus on. We don't want you to get too hung up on the financials, but they would be of value. But also think about the other benefits related to your idea and to the problem that you're trying to solve. It's really important that you look to share those with the judging panel. The other thing as well is, although I'm using slides today, you can be as creative as you like with your presentation as long as it lasts 5 minutes. So you might think about animation, you might think about role play. It's entirely up to you. Be as creative as you like. So the pitch panel will be looking to award prizes to the strongest teams around the best idea, the best use of technology, and also the best pitch. So it can be quite nerve-wracking standing up in front of people, and we'll be looking for those teams that have really done the practice and deliver a really great pitch within the 5 minutes. So they're the things that we'll be looking for. Now there'll be some prizes that we'll be giving, not just in terms of iTunes vouchers, but also for the winning teams, we'll be looking to give you an opportunity to come back to Barclays in the new year to do some work experience. For those of you in either Lithuania or the UK, we'll make the opportunity for you to spend some time with our mobile team that develop our mobile products, so you can see how they develop projects. And also, for those of you in the UK, there may be an opportunity to come into one of our branches and see how technology is used by our customers. Regardless of whether you're in one of the winning teams, we will make sure that everybody gets a certificate for taking part, and also your mentor will give you some really valuable feedback on how you've worked as a team, because that's how you improve your skills in the world of work, is through feedback from other people. So they will spend time at the end of the programme giving you some feedback. So it's at this point I'm going to just refer to my iPad and just see if there's any more questions that's coming through on the online chat. And again, just a reminder, if you just scroll down from where you're currently viewing me at the moment and just add in any questions that you think you have as a result of what you've just heard. So I've got a question in here from guest 75, whoever that is, wherever you may be. And somebody's saying, can you present on more than one problem? I guess the short answer is no, but I'm just thinking about the amount of time that you've got alongside the rest of your schoolwork. I'd encourage you to probably focus in on one, because they're all quite different. But if you really feel that passionate about it, see how you go as a team, have a conversation with your teacher and with your mentor to make sure that actually you're not spreading yourself too thin by trying to solve more than one problem. Okay, any more questions coming through on the chat? I'm hoping everybody's pretty clear on the brief, but there is an opportunity now for you to just submit some final questions. Just whilst we're waiting for any questions before we finish on the broadcast, let me just put up one final reminder for today. So just to get you in the zone and to start thinking through the problems, my recommendation is you make some progress in the time that you've got today to work through the following. So choose your scenario, agree a team name, that always really helps because everybody then knows who they're referring to. Start to allocate some roles and responsibilities in the team. So who's going to lead for you, and who might be keeping an eye on the finances to make sure that you're not going to be overspending on millions of pounds with your project? Who might be doing some of the marketing of it? Who's going to be preparing your presentation at the end? Because that's a really important part of you selling your idea to the panel. Okay? And then also start to think through some ideas. So who's got some really good ideas in your team, and which ones are you going to work on over the next few weeks? Okay? And whether you're in school already today or whether you're visiting at one of our sites, think about how you're going to move this forward, because it's easy to spend some time on it today, but then key part of managing a project is making sure that everybody knows what they're doing and by when, so that you don't lose on valuable time. And the other thing, as I mentioned, is your mentor will be coming to visit you at school. They have a day job to do here at Barclays, so I'd really encourage you to think about how you're going to make best use of their time when they do come and visit you over the next few weeks. Okay, and so I've got some more questions here, which is great. So how fixed is the age range on the education solution? So I'd suggested for the idea about an app for helping young people to understand banking, around 4 to 6. But again, if there's a particular age group that you think you'd prefer to work on, that's fine. That's okay for you to do as well. So somebody else here from Poynton is asking, do you need to produce a prototype? Well, that would be great, but I'm not going to suggest you've got to have a fully fledged app on a device in the next 6 weeks. Screen grabs will be fine in terms of the design and the look and feel of maybe the app that you produce or the website that you produce, but a prototype would be great too. Would a designed app have to work on more than one device? Wow, if you can actually produce a user interface for multiple devices, I think the judging panel would be really impressed. So again, I'll leave that up to you. There's no expectation, given that you have your other schoolwork to do, but if you'd like to do it and you can, I think the judges will be well impressed. Okay, and there's a question from Poynton again. So thanks, Poynton. You're definitely working on the chat today. You've got 4 good teams. Can you only send 1? Well, actually, I'm hoping we've got some good news there, because a few of the schools that were taking part in the initiative aren't now coming forward, so we might have some more slots available. I think what we'll do is we'll see how the next few weeks goes, and I'll work with each of the schools taking part to make sure we can get as many of the student teams back here as possible. So let's see how we progress over the next few weeks, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to have more than one team back from each school. Okay, so I'm very conscious of time. It's just coming to 1:30 here in the UK, 3:30 in Lithuania. If there's no more questions, I'm just checking I haven't missed anybody. Don't worry if you think of a question in 5 minutes' time. As I said, speak with your mentor, speak with the team in that Lithuania office there, and I'll stay on the chat for a short while longer to answer any questions you have. So, on that basis, thank you for listening this afternoon. I'm really looking forward to seeing your ideas that come through from the work you do on tech innovation. Enjoy it, have fun, and I look forward to hearing everything that you've been doing in the next few weeks. Have a good day.